looks like we're live. I just check the audio. Yep. Check our chat. Running up there. Okay. Right. Cafe art. Which means I'm your host at the cafe today. Start with an appropriate plunger of coffee. This one is by a company called Hummingbird. Called Crave. How about that? How appropriate for coffee. Let's get rid of this. So last stream, the PC crashed mid-stream, and my PC, I'll be doing a separate video about rebuilding it, which probably won't interest a few who are here for pastel art, but it's part of the journey. A lot of artists these days need to find other ways of getting revenue rather than just selling the single painting. To do prints, I've got a blank coffee cup here. One day, maybe, where is it? Right here. Maybe there'll be some arty thing about cafe art. T-shirts, whatever. That's how people make money these days in art. There's lots of little streams of income rather than just from selling a single painting. And my PC is an integral part of that journey. So this week I've been feeling fragile, and it's been fantastic. I'll show you. This is what I mean. Oh, it just feels so good. So got all the fragile parts stacked up behind me, and I'm just summoning up the courage to get on and assemble them. But it's desperate because my PC's currently got some sort of short happening in it. It's lying on its side. It's near death, and every now and then it'll turn itself off. And if that happens in the stream, well, I'm sorry. It's just how it's rolling at the moment. Oh, got a viewer. Hey! It's Dante, how fantastic. Lovely to see you, mate. Fantastic. Doing my preamble. Let me just put the chat window up. I do that. Transition. Go. Yes. My own branded mugs. Fantastic. You and me both, mate. Dante's got an excellent Dante's got an excellent channel on perfume. So I totally recommend that. Really enjoyed perfume analysis. Feel free to drop a link to your channel. No worries about that. Okay, so just bring up my reference photo in the background, and yes, the fragrances for men. Get the high notes from Dante. It needs smell-o-vision to go with it. That's what it needs. Smell-o-vision, I can smell my coffee. It's better. I will just slurp away. So, the PC crashed, and I haven't come back to the painting. Decided to just keep doing it while I'm streaming. So I'm back to blocking in the background and some more darks. And it's going to spread the got naturally. Start off to clean up. It's a review of a rose scent for Valentine's Day. Fantastic. Sure, I'm subscribed to your channel, so you should do a live. You should do a live version. Auntie, it's that hard to set up OBS. It only takes like 2 weeks to work out what you're doing. Just watch tons of videos. That would be good. Get a live reaction to the scents. Yep, I'll be totally down for watching that. My daughter, Edie Bo, worked at a pharmacy for some time. And really nice selection of scents. Last time she was over from Australia, which I still haven't used. She's driving trucks now, so there's no more fragrances. Right, just read that. It's tiny wee writing for me from redoing my website this weekend. Fantastic. So I was on LinkedIn earlier this morning. Of course I was. That's where I do my marketing. And one of my connections, I was talking about fortifying your mind. So I had a little chat with her about that. It's kind of like positive self-talk. It's definitely to be a lot. And she made a quote: "Fortune favours the brave." I said, well, yes it does, but failure also favours the brave. That's often the way, isn't it? If you try something, if you don't try something, well, you're not going to fail. You're only going to fail in the sense that you never bothered to try something. But if you try something, chances are that, especially if you're doing it for the first time, you're not going to hit all your marks. It will fail. So failure favours the brave. But the brave keep going. That's the thing. Just pick yourself up, keep going. And that's why eventually you can find a fortune. Or not. Sometimes we just keep failing. But better to try and fail than not at all. That's kind of my stream at the moment. So I'm never quite sure. Will the PC survive? Die? You never fail if you keep going. To succeed or learn. Well, you do learn. Well, that didn't work. Okay, we'll try something different next time. But it is a bit of a failure if you never bother to try it all. Playing it safe is Well, let's say live at the same time. Living is all about some experiences. When I was a kid, it was a long time ago, there was a Olympic-sized swimming pool in my city. The native word for ocean, the Moana. Of course, Disney did a movie, Moana. So, Moana pool was a huge pool for its time, and it had a really good diving platform. Had some little ones. I don't know, maybe just a metre or so. No, no, it must be more than that. It must be coming off the water. Very good spring, and you could jump from those. Or they had the very high platform, and you weren't allowed to jump. You had to dive, otherwise you got kicked out. So I used to climb up to the top of this extremely high platform to push myself. Go, I can do this. Do this. And sometimes I would back down and go back down the steps because I just could not. I used to bribe myself and say, well, you can have an ice cream. Jump off. So I learnt to face my fears quite early, so I must have been 8 or 9 when I was doing that. There's a bit of lag between my chat and your video. Now, about 20 to 20. That's normal on OBS. So the lag time that's normal. Yeah, 20 to 21 seconds. You can set it to actually 60 seconds between comments, but that is just that's just how it is for streaming. It's not that bad, and I think they put that in for moderation as well. So there's a little bit of filtering that can be put on for, so you don't get trolled. So at the moment, there's no point me having a moderator because I don't have that many people rocking in my stream. But it gives a chance to sort of catch those rascals. Want to bomb your stream. Get some blue in there. Very therapeutic. Like going to therapy. Fantastic. That's what we want as an outcome, Dante. People will start watching my stream in order to get rid of their worries. They'll come away and they'll go, so stressed no more. It's perfect. It's gonna so these trees, which have been a little bit of jip lately, a bit of grief, but because I was not bold enough in getting my darks in. And as I've said in the other streams, normally there's this sort of arty rule of not putting a black down on canvas, particularly in pastels, because it can drain all the colour out if you're painting. Look a bit flat. And go boo-hoo to that. just whack it in. So I need it contrast to be coming through. And then I'll chuck my lights on top. But I did start a bit too cautious. It's a bit of a problem. Yes, yes, you should. I've got a friend who is an archivist. Is that the right word? He works in records management. Of the government departments, town, and I'm just and as a hobby, he goes around the city and he does architectural drawings of the building. They're fantastic, really beautiful detail. Just pencil drawings. I'm like, I could really do something. He's just, hobby. Just something to take the stress away when he's working. Rocks up here. Look like rocks at the moment. Right. Some thanks for all the chat messages too. Appreciate that. I thought I'd do a I thought I would do the stream at this time, so I could catch the evening UK audience. And so in America, I think it's about 1 p.m. Pacific time. So there'll be some folks just finishing their lunch. So on the seaboard, in which case it's 4 p.m. Oh, there's the phone. Excuse me for a sec. How about that? Here I am in the middle of a YouTube stream, and my dental hygienist gives me a call. It's like, what could go wrong in a stream? What could possibly go wrong in a stream? Well, let's see. We'll start with having our dental hygienist. It's cool. About that. Boston. Yeah. Thanks for coming, Andy. Really appreciate it, bro. Thanks for being here. Okay. So, yes. So, my dental hygienist gave me a call. Middle of a stream. Fantastic. But it could have been a client, so I have to take it. I have to think about turning the phone off streams. Just gonna a lot of it's definitely a dark sort of spot here. The thing with pastels is that once you fill up this this paper, and this is an excellent paper. This is Pastel Mat. It's a lovely paper. It's got a cellulose that's sprayed on it. It's not perfect. Some people talk about it like it's just the most amazing thing, but it can have some pretty tough little flaws in it. So if the paper gets a scratch on it, and I can see one running down here, that will have either happened in transit or it could have happened in production. You just can't get rid of those lines. You can try and sort of work around them, fill them in. People won't see them from a distance. Start looking for them. Of course, I see them because once something's seen, it's unsee it. The but where I was going with this is that if you start putting down too much pastel on the paper, you fill the tooth, and once it's filled and it can't take any more, you've really only got a choice of spraying a fixative on the paper, which I may do with this one. And a fixative just locks it all in and enables you to put some more layers on top. So that's the thing with the fixative. So if you can work out ideally what colours you're going to be using to begin with, that's great. And that will save you some agony later on when you go back in like I'm doing at the moment, where I didn't put down enough dark. For sake, back in there and darken it up. course, on different days, so in my studio, you'll see behind me is so I'm in a garage, and so the light that I've got is from the windows of the garage door. I've got a window in front of me, but I've blocked that off. It messes me up light-wise. I've got a studio light behind me, some more windows as well, letting in light. But what will happen is that on different days you've got overcast, bright, sunny. So I'm not having the same light every time I paint, and because of that, I see the painting differently each time I in. Oh, I didn't see that last time. And of course, as you're looking at the photo, your photo reference, going, oh, because your eyes will adjust and you'll see it differently, and there'll be more truth appears in actually when I look at that. So I'm looking at the stream at the moment. I'm going, actually, you know what? These trees are starting to get there, because I can see the stream from it's further back and a little fuzzier, which is great compared to it's you know, less than an arm length away from me. Actually, I didn't realise how helpful that would be. So what a bonus! Yes, you start seeing a truer picture the longer you're immersed in the picture. So when I get to Helen, when I'm painting her, and she is the primary focus of my painting, I know her so well. My problem will be to try not to use the knowledge I have of her in my head to represent what I can see, reference what happened on the day. So I see quite a lot of, it was a cold day, so there's quite a lot of blue that's going to be in her. And back, but we'll be looking for reflections of the green in her hair as well, and reflections of the rock, which I'll be doing in turquoisey, a very grey turquoise, starting to use it for the rocks in the background. So there'll be a bit of reflection of that back into her shadow as well. Dress. So that's going to be quite exciting. When I get to paint Helen, I'll be in like this for the detail, which annoying stream, but I will my best to keep my back out of the shot, so I won't try to avoid shots like that. Let's move my picture over just a little. It's cool. I've got a monitor right here, easel and piece of work, which is great, but the monitor just needs to be over a little bit more for it to work properly. This is dark. Yeah. Let's just get there. David. Can't hit a home run if you just. That's what we need to do here. It's just. And when the highlights come in, it'll pull it. So that's all good. So it's going to be fine. Hey, we've made it minutes, have we? Yeah, wow. See, hasn't crashed. So we're really rocking it today. It's great. And today's stream is for an hour. Let's clean this up a bit. Oh, these are just standard kitchen towels. So they'll pick up the and pestle. So even though that looks filthy, eventually you'll drag it across and barely any pan pestles coming off. Pigment, I should call it. Though they are pan pestles. Heavily. I'm going to regret. When you're using sponge brush, don't have the same sort of control. Flexibility. If you watch if you ever watch Bob Ross, he'll have a different brush for different things. He's got a special brush just for doing the leaves of his happy trees. I have looked. I have taken one of these sponges, cut very fine grooves in them, and used that for here. That was not a bad experiment, but with pastel in any case, looking for is the build-up of different shades. It's different marks of colour going to they create this optical illusion shapes. Very similar to pixels on. They're all just an individual dot of colour that together your eye sees all those dots and the shape appears. You have to tell yourself that when you with pastels. Not doing this like a big brush stroke and then suddenly it all appears. It's lots of little things that together will create the picture. And if ever there was a quality that's need for painting with pastel, sometimes it's not your skills. It's not how talented you are. It can be how patient are you. If you're a patient person, that makes the difference for painting, because it takes time for the painting to emerge. You know, I a really good article. Maybe it was actually a YouTuber. It was talking about art and their experience. A lot of people give up towards the end of the paint. They go, "Oh, that's enough. I'm done." And if they just stuck it out for that next, it could be as small as 10 or 15% more work, then the painting will zing. Really be something. Just some foliage side, some luck. And contextually, this is the thing with. Now I don't need to fill up the whole paper, so I've got this dark blue. It's perfectly fine to leave some of that poking through. Don't ever feel like you've got to just fill the whole thing. And there's a reason you've got colour. So I picked this colour because, let's go back to the reference photo. Chat off for a sec. So in the reference photo, see down the bottom right hand corner, colour of the water that's going to be. So I've got, this is the rock that's coming down here, and there's this particular one, there's the water, there's a whole ton of rocks, and then the river's sort of along here, river bed, bit of water around this rock, and that's pretty much the colour of this paper. So chat at the moment, so I'll just leave the reference photo up for yeah. Okay, so this tree, to understand the tree, got that tree. Some lights on. So you can, I'm just using the same sponge all the way through. If you really want to keep it cleaner, have a separate sponge for lights versus darks. But once you start putting your lights over your darks, they're going to get dirty anyway. That's why I'm just let's finish this coffee. It's going to go yucky, sad. Some real. Agree. This one, I think. Permanent green is just fantastic. It's actually quite good for a moment not to have any chat because I just want to happen. Now the hard thing about the sponge is sure you don't end up with the same starts to drag across the paper and smudge. It's no fun. Misty turquoise in here. I think this time stream, nearly at the end of this one, I will either have these trees done, and when I say trees, it's a representation of it. The mental, see it in context. Otherwise, we'll just call it an abstract painting. Done with it. Hard. Doesn't look like what you expected it. Just call it something else. I'm trying to tree line. Because the trees are sort of down on these represented. Some into shade as well. Would be nice. Mix the together and get fresh colours. Right, so back to those rocks. Still from blocking in. Final destination with this. What I don't want to do is come back, get into this section of the painting again after I've started on Helen. So she's got the cool cream and red dress on. I don't want dark stuff down on the back of it. Because that's just gravity. And so I give it a bash. And there's not, this is the thing with pastel matte and pen. By blowing up, it's not a big cloud of pastel dust. It's all very grippy, and actually that's one of the reasons it sort of takes a bit of time to do a blocking in. Unlike a wet paint, where whatever's on your brush, you're just spreading it across the canvas. Whoosh. And you get really good coverage and it's opaque. With the pan pastel, while it looks opaque, because it's such a finely crushed pigment, it's got a transparency to it. And it's not like thick paint. And for each time you put down your applicator, actually not a lot of coverage, especially I guess because I'm doing a big the pastel artists that I watch are often working on a much smaller piece, an A4 page, because they're doing demos and they're doing a quick demo, and it could be how to do hair or how to get a skin tone, or often it's pixels. But it's a small piece, and so it appears to cover quite quickly, but they're only doing a circle, small circle, bit of hair, skin. In reality, when you've got a bigger piece, you'll find it actually takes some time to do the blocking in, and you just have to be patient. Didn't I say that before? Yes, I did. Well done, David. That's the theme of today's session. Be patient. That patience is going to pay off. So that's why they call it patience, you see, because it's got to pay off. Won't get that. So you take your time, and you'll know when it's ready. You'll step back and you'll go, oh, that's pretty good. And quite often I will I'll finish a painting, and I make the same mistake the whole time, every time. Coconut. This is the turquoise I'm just putting it. But some light to the top of the and I'll put my signature on. Actually, because I have what's it called? Dysgraphia. It's where your handwriting, it's a bit like dyslexia, but for writing. And so when I'm writing, I constantly mix up my capitals with type things, write them. So, it's a bit disappointing when I want to do a signature and my brain won't tell me how to properly. So I just do a monogram. It's the initial. It's my initials. Anyway, so what happens is I finish the painting and I initial it, and then I leave it on the easel for a couple of days, and I just look at it, and then I go, you know what? It's not finished. Why did I put my initials? I'm still got to go and do this. Sometimes we're just in a rush. We go, oh, I've just had enough. That before about what separates the artist from the two would like to be, but just in a hurry. And if they just put that extra time, they would just wow themselves. Something that ordinary, but special. It's not. Just below. I think we're going to call it a day. So if you're watching this on the replay, thank you so much for tuning in, listening to waffle on. Made some progress on this background today. Be happy. It's gone. Got a little bit of work still to do here. Even up some of this. And next time, ideally, I'll be on this rock. I may do the river. Yeah, I might just pull that river in, and there's going to be got to finish these rocks. Actually, some rocks here in the dark, and then the river's going to come in. Just have one main rock here, and that river is going to be turquoise, but it's got to pull in all that green into it as well. So that'll be light turquoise floating on the top, green for the reflections that come through from trees. So for now, thank you so much for coming to the stream, watching it on replay. It's a pleasure to studio.